Hello, all my beautiful kindred souls, and welcome to this channel, which is solely dedicated and focused on the element of water. So the energies connected to the element of water, the astrological signs, the astrological houses, that's what we're going to be talking about on this channel. Again, it's all focused on water energy. Okay, so this video is going to be focused on kind of an overview, if you will, of water energy and kind of the different aspects and energetic qualities that play into water energy as a way of giving us a foundation to understanding, articulating, and investigating water energy. I am going to be using the Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck to help illustrate some of these qualities. This deck is absolutely beautiful, as you will see today. This is not a paid promotion or anything, but if you were interested in this deck, I wanted you to know what it was. It's gorgeous. Look at this packaging. Anyway, that is a review for another day. So again, we are talking about the element of water. So before we dive into it today, please consider subscribing, clicking like on this video if you found anything informative or helpful for you. This channel is not just dedicated to water astrological signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, but it's for any of us that want to know more about these sort of spiritual, emotive, intuitive qualities of the element of water. The reason why I started this channel is because I have all three of the astrological signs in my sun, moon, and rising energy. And so my journey to understanding water has been critical to my spiritual growth and my success as well in my corporeal husk, if you will. Okay, so the element of water. So the element of water is a divine feminine energy. So it is a yin energy, and is of course shared with the element of earth as well. Water energy is, to me, it is our connection. It is our connection to ourselves. It is our connection to the world around us. It is our connection to the world beyond us, right? Those spiritual things, those unseen places and spaces, the mysteries, the darkness. It is also the place where we go to be healed, to be read up, R-E with a hyphen, and insert many different words in here, right? Revitalize, renew, rejuvenate, refresh, replenish, right? All of these qualities are connected to the element of water. The element of water is also associated with adaptation and change, but change more in the forms of like a cycle, right? And therefore is very much so represented by the moon energy, okay? So the moon is a heavenly body. It is not a planet, even though sometimes it is referred to as a planet. We all know that it is a moon, or is a satellite of Earth. The moon represents reflectivity. The sun is about expression, and the sun's counterpart is the moon, and these are two different entities. And because they are two different entities, they're able to sort of respond to each other. So the moon is about reflection, reflecting more specifically on the sun's energy, or on the ego, which makes us self-aware, right? That's how we as humans are self-aware. That's how we're able to evaluate ourselves and then make actions or changes based on what we see, in those reflections. The moon also connects to how we nurture and nourish ourselves, which is very much so Cancerian energy and what Cancerian energy reflects, as well as the fourth house. So the fourth house is about how we nurture ourselves. It's about family. It's about home. And I would even argue home as the concept of home, right? That emotional quality of home that may or may not reside in a physical place like a house. But it is related to home. It's about peace and where we find comfort, that sort of thing. Okay. And so Cancerian energy, just to pop back over to Cancer energy, is about comfort and protection. Again, more from an emotional standpoint. Taurus energy is about physical protection, right? The actual home, the physical place. And Cancerian energy is about kind of this quality or concept of home, which is more emotional. And Cancerian energy is a cardinal energy, which means that there is a level of pioneering, a pioneering spirit, a bit of instigative energy there and bravery there. And I feel like it's more on the emotional side again. So we're focused again on that emotional side and ability to connect. So Cancerian energies in this way is willing to take the risk or takes the chance on a connection. And of course, if we're taking a risk, we understand that we could come to harm in some kind of a way. But there is a level, again, of bravery. Without fear, there is no bravery. Bravery doesn't exist, or courage doesn't exist without there being fear, something that could harm us, bring us to harm. So the other heavenly bodies that are connected to water energy in ancient astrology is Jupiter and Mars energy. Okay, so Mars energy, which is associated with Scorpio, which we'll get into a second. So backing up a little bit, the heavenly body energies, particularly the planets. So we talked about the sun and the moon kind of being counterparts to each other. The planets, because they receive energy from the sun, right? There's a side to every planet that is facing the sun, and there's a side to every planet that is facing away from the sun. So those sun-facing sides of the planets are the expressive energy. Those are the divine masculine signs or energies. And the signs that are facing away from the sun are the divine feminine energies. And we said that water is a divine feminine energy. And so they're going to be the side of a planet that is facing away from the sun. In this case, we're talking about Mars and Jupiter. So the side to Mars that is facing away from the sun, and again, I hesitate to say the dark side and the light side, because, you know, dark and light imply positive and negative energies, but not in a neutral way, but in like a good or bad way. So the side to Mars that is facing away from the sun is our beloved Scorpio energy. I'm gonna put her down here. But really the heavenly body of Mars is really about self-focused movement, whether that is physically moving where everyone can see you charging forward, that is Aries energy, or whether it is the more internal, like self-motivated sort of energy, which is the more Scorpio side to Mars. But it is about forward momentum. It is about action. Mars is often associated with the general, you know, where if the sun is the king, then Mars is the general, right? The one that gets her done, that develops the plan or the strategies necessary in order to then take action and get things done, right? Conquer
Mars
that.
energy is really talks about
action, to fulfill one's self-desires. So whether that action looks like Aries energy and it's outwardly expressive and it's kind of the warrior charging into battle, or it looks like Scorpio energy, which is more like an inward, pushing yourself from the inside to achieve inner ambition versus outwardly expressive ambition, if you will. And then moving on to Jupiter energy. So Jupiter energy connected to water. So water is the divine feminine side to Jupiter is connected to water energy, which is associated with our dear Pisces energies. Again, I use ancient placements because there is pattern and because it makes sense to me. Using those ancient placements. Feel free in your investigations to look at the Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto outer planets if you would like to, but I will not in any of my content. I use ancient placements. Okay, so again, Pisces energy is the divine feminine side to Jupiter energy, which is water energy. And again, Jupiter is all about growth and expansion. Jupiter is about more, right? You ask Jupiter, do you want A, B, or C? And Jupiter's like, yes. I want all of these things. I will not choose, I will grow, and I will expand in order to accommodate all of these things. And I feel like with Pisces energy, that really relates to Pisces' ability to be empathetic, to grow and expand your ability to connect, to encompass and include others outside of yourself, to encompass and include the places beyond our corporeal existence as well, right? Being able to connect to spirits, being able to connect to future self and higher self, and all these other sorts of things are very Pisces and Jupiter sort of actions or energies. Pisces energy is mutable, which means not only is it able to change or it adapts to change, but it needs change in order to feel fulfilled. That's how I interpret mutable energy. Like, it's not just about the ability to change, it's like that you need to change in order to feel like things are working right for you, that things are fluxing and flowing and working and articulating it themselves appropriately. Right, so Pisces energy is about, there's an intimate quality to it. Again, I talked about intuitive nature to them, because they are literally able to feel what others are feeling. Again, the ability to expand your emotions, not only to be a link between your soul or your spirit and the world around you, but also be able to link to others, be able to link to energies that are beyond our corporeal senses. That is sort of the magic or the opportunities there in Pisces energy, which is why they're able to be so compassionate, why they're able to feel, why they're able to even have a quality to them that feels like they're predicting, or like you can feel like you know what someone's going to say before they say it, or things like that. That's that quality, that expansion of connectivity is very Piscean. And the 12th house is also associated with that Piscean energy. The 12th house is about the mysteries of things, if you will, the things that we cannot see, the bumps that go, the darkness that goes bump in the night, things like that. And I feel like as you embrace those energies, those quantities, those qualities, you start to sort of pull back the curtain a little bit. So you're less scared of the dark. You're less scared of those sort of spaces and places that you can't quite see or you can't quite connect to with your corporeal senses. Again, that Piscean energy, that Jupiterian energy in its highest vibration is able to reconcile those things and truly understand them. But that understanding goes beyond our sort of intellectual understanding here on this earthen plane. So we mentioned Scorpio energy when we talked about Mars. Scorpio energy is a fixed energy. And again, we're talking about in the realm, places and spaces of water. So it's a fixed water energy. So it's fixed when it comes to the emotive spaces. And I would say fixed once a decision is made. Once a decision is made from an emotive position, it's difficult to get Scorpio to change. Why? Because Scorpio has already kind of gone over all the things, right? Because water is about adaptation and movement, and so Scorpio has mulled over all of these things. And so when a decision is made, right? It's going to be difficult then to get Scorpio to see things emotively from a different perspective or point of view, because she has already processed through and gone through and been uncertain and answered questions and asked questions and dug deep down into the depths of things in order to truly understand them. And so once they're understood and a decision is made off of that understanding, again, it's really difficult to get her to change. I would argue that energy is, there's a bit of chafing or conflict with the element of water itself, because water wants to move, right? Water wants to flow. And its natural state is to flow. And so when you have stagnation, sometimes it's like putting your foot down and being firm and not allowing people to move you. And sometimes it is detrimental and there's a staleness that sets in, and then not great things happen, right? So there's a high vibrational and a low vibrational sort of version of all of these things and how they show up.
And then Scorpio is connected to the 8th house, which the 8th house is all about transformation. It's about the I like to connect it to like the emulsification process when caterpillars become butterflies, right? The emulsification process, which happens in the chrysalis when the caterpillar turns into the chrysalis, it's kind of gross and goopy and disgusting, right? The caterpillar completely emulsifies, it turns into goop, it turns into liquid, and then is reformed into this new being. It's transformed into this new being, which is the butterfly, which of course we're like ooh and ah and goo over them because they're so beautiful. But it takes that ugly, nasty, gross, sticky part of things in order to get to the beautiful thing. So just kind of bearing that in mind when you're thinking about transformation, that it is a process and it's not always aesthetically pleasing, or all of the parts and pieces are not aesthetically pleasing. Okay. So again, this was an overview. This is the second part. If you haven't checked out the first part, do consider doing that. Thank you so much for your time, your beautiful energy, and I look forward to creating more content again around the element of water and all of these wonderful energies that are associated with water energy. Thank you. Again, subscribe, like, and I'll see you in an upcoming video. Blessed be.